So first thing that we have to do is to edit this page, because it is already set for the logged in users, so we only allow a logged in user to chat with the other users. It's a basic thing, so I am just continuing that part. In order to access this home, we will have to go to the route folder and then web. So in here, as you can see, for this home route, we have a home controller and index. So in order to go to the controller, you guys must know that controller exists in app HTTP controllers. And here we have our home controller, as you can see the complete name. So home controller and then index. And as you can see in the constructor, we are implementing the middleware auth, which means that whatever we will place here, it will be protected by the authentication system. So only the logged in user will be able to access. So back to the point, we have to go to the view file of home. So again, we have to jump to the resources, because all our views are in the resources view, and then we have home.blade. If you're already familiar with the Laravel, then you must know that it's work with the Blade templating engine, which is the very handy tool as well. So you can see it's extending the layout.app, which means the layouts folder followed by apps. You can see now the proper HTML markup: head, body, and then there is a yield. As you know, that yield is used to include the specific section code into the file. So in order to tell the file that where this section is, you use the section command and then the same name as you use in the yield. And what it does, it just take this code and place it instead of this. That's the simple thing. It's the most easy way to explain you what it do. It see yield content, okay, then it go to the file, search for the section content, here it is, search for the ending of it, and copy all the code from here and place it here instead of this. That's the simple and easiest thing it does. And you can see the whole bunch of thing, like title would be the app name, which is Laravel. We will change it later. And then we are adding the style sheet, and then we have the Bootstrap navigation, which is also a good thing because Laravel come with the Bootstrap setup, so it's easy for us to design things. And I really recommend you to use Bootstrap because it make your work a lot easier, same as Laravel. So a whole bunch of normal things like if guard, I mean, what it does, it's mean that it is checking if the user is not logged in, then show these two: route login, route register. It's a name. It's basically the route like this with the name login or registration instead of home, and you will see it's implementing here. If we will do the publish vendor in Artisan, we will able to see that, but not really something that you want to learn at the moment, because we have to focus on the chat. And after that, if it's not the guest, which means if the user is already logged in, then show this. In here, what it is doing, it is showing a drop down with the name of the current user, which is, as you can see here, Faraz. If I click on here, it's showing logout. If I go back again to the code, it is exactly doing the same thing. It is calling for the route logout again in the auth section, and then form ID, and so on, so on. So pretty much simple thing, nothing to be scared of. That's the thing. First this file, and it's extending with this file. So this section is in home.blade.php. The rest of the thing, or I would say the rest of the entire page, is in the app.blade.php, and we are extending the file right after the navigation, because it's a master. You can say it's a master file for the design. It's a when you create the layout, you create sort of a header and then footer, and then a sidebar, and then you can create the the page name, like for instance contact us page, about us page, and then you implement include, sorry, header, footer, sidebar, and so on. What we are doing here, we are actually creating one file, for instance a master.php, and in master.php we are adding header, footer, sidebar, and then we are extending that master php file with the contact us and about us pages. So we can only have to change the specific center or middle content part. Back to the point, we have to start with the app.blade.php because we have to design this part. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is to edit this, our home.blade.php. So we do not need any of this thing. So we can simply just remove all this and we can start building our design here. So if I refresh over here, you will be able to see that. Okay, let me log in first. Okay, you see nothing. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Though you see the header, yeah, because I just removed the inside part here. So we will build from here. What we need, as I said, we need a two section. One is the list of users that you chat with, and on the right side there would be a section to see the messages and type the message. Put this thing in your mind so you do not confuse. So let's start. First we would have to have a div, and in this div we would have one class, use the container Bootstrap class, so we can get the nice full width container. And then we will again need a div, and this time the class would be the raw, as you know, the structure of Bootstrap. And then again have one div for the left column, and this time we'll say call large. Maybe the combination would be 4 and 6. So in large screen and in middle screen we would keep the column 4, and then for the small screen we would use the 12, and same as for the extra small. Let me add the comments as well so you would be able to understand. Chat list section, and then copy this, paste here, it's n here, and let me copy the entire thing, paste it down here, and we will say message section. Cool. And we will have to change this to 6 and then save it. Go and refresh. You will see there's nothing here because we haven't added anything here. Let's say we wanted to add the panel, so it's a Bootstrap panel. The same thing that we were using when we had this login thing here, that was a panel. So that's exactly what we were gonna use. So again, the class was panel, and panel default, and inside the panel, let me close the div first, and inside the panel we would have another div, and we will say class. This time class would be panel heading, and in heading we will, what should we say, chat list. Okay, so that's the thing. Now we would need a panel body, obviously, because if we have a panel heading, then we must have a panel body as well. Panel body, and we'll have to do the same thing with this chat message section. I'm gonna copy the same thing because we need the same here as well, but instead of the chat list we will gonna say, for instance, message list, not conversation. Okay, and then inside the body we're gonna add one div, no chat, just for now, and for here as well, no message, sorry, no chat list. Okay, save it, go back, refresh. Whoa, okay, so it's pretty cool here. Now the second part is to create the messages section. We have to actually create the items inside here, so it will be like, 1 2 3 4, like that. So first we will do it manually with the static static div, and then we will implement the functionality, then we will use it from the database. So if I come over here, we will just use one, so it would be like div for the specific item, and then class, I would say like chat item. You can write any name for the class or whatever you want to use. Inside, what would we have? We would have one image, because the user have an image, and we will use the class image circle and image responsive. Both are the Bootstrap classes, and the src would be, so far at the moment we will use the default. So if I come over here in the blog, in the public images, I have these default files, actually default images. I can use them in my chat as well, public, and then I will have to create the folder img, and then I can paste it here. Default user, I will gonna use that. And in order to access the assets folder, we will have to use this function php in a blade format assets, and inside the assets we have to provide the subfolder, which is image, and then this file name, which is default user dot jpg. It will get the URL of the file, and that's the thing. And after that, we will have to have a badge kind of a thing, which will count, sorry, which will show the name of users, obviously, which is the important part. And at the moment I will write for RAS, just hard coding it. Later we will pull this from the database, and then I guess so far this is good. If I come refresh, okay, so it is saying broken images here. Oh, something messed up here. Oh, that was a mistake. Okay, cool. So obviously it's not exactly how we planned. It's a completely messed up situation for us. So what if I just copy this, paste it like 2-3 times? Okay, cool. So that's the thing. We will style this thing in the next video, because the video is getting lengthier. So in the next video we will come and we will style this and create the further designing part. So take care for now. Bye bye.